It's a charity, I know that much.
Because I think charity begins at home, and basically cancer is something we really do need to sort out.
They're terrific, aren't they? Yeah, they do a good job.
Absolute rubbish.
Fantastic.
No, they're all right. Okay.
No, I don't know.
We have got a superb hospice at home service, we have a really well developed and well supported inpatient service at St Francis, and we have very good daycare at Grove House at St Albans. So in North West Hertfordshire you have a really Rolls-Royce service where patients can choose where they want to die, where they want to be cared for, and we all are working together really well at the front line of clinical care.
I think in the past hospice was hospice, and that's where you went if you were terminally ill, and that was the end of it. I don't think I had any idea of any of these other things that the hospices offer, or the different types of hospices.
I would imagine it's voluntary. I don't think it's government funded.
Well, my direct debit.
Jumping out of a little plane at 12,000 feet to raise money for Iain Rennie.
If I won the lottery, I'd give some.
I love it. I love it. I think more people should get more involved with fundraising, because you're giving, but you're also receiving. I think that's the wonderful thing about it.
We are still competing for funds on the high street, sadly, because much of our catchment area overlaps. Public can be confused. They don't quite know sometimes which hospice is which, and they don't understand the difference and that we are two separate charities. Maybe that doesn't matter, I don't know. But it's obviously a stress for both charities when we're both looking for the same penny in the pound.
People are being constantly asked and drained of their resources, so it's tough from that perspective. Every day something lands on your mat, every day possibly a phone call, every day there's somebody with a tin, presenting you with a tin.
The character of the hospice now is that it is without the National Health Service, and therefore is unrestrained by a lot of the restrictions that are put upon health service workers these days.
As long as we retain our independence, and although we're always looking for more money from the NHS, we don't want to be controlled by the NHS. I think the passion and the creativity and the innovation in hospice care still remains.
And I had Macmillan nurses, I had Marie Curie nurses, I had the hospice, they were all helping me. That's the doctor and the local district nurse. I mean, they're all there to help you, but you don't know about it till you need it.
They mean a lot to us as parents, because they look after Matthew, and we get some respite from it.
And there was also the counselling for my younger son, who was very devoted to his granddad.
Just a little reassurance that that everything that was happening was as we should expect it, particularly with the children. I didn't know whether to, what to expect in terms of reaction from the children, and that's where it was most helpful.
But it was all down to the Iain Rennie nurses, whichever ones came, and of course their relationship with the district nurses, which stood out extremely well.
On the whole, I think the district nurse is the key worker, because we're the ones with the patients who also work very closely with the GPs.
It's very important to have a good relationship with district nurses, because we see them every day and discuss the patients, so that is vitally important.
And I think sometimes now, because we're very keen to get it absolutely perfect, the patients, sometimes we might be seen to be assertive. But I think sometimes we have to be, if we're going to get what's best for the patient. So I don't think taking over, but I think it's good that we're seen very much as a patient advocate.
I have to say, from the district nurse's point of view, it can be a bit galling when you read in the paper and the obituary columns, or the thanks. And thanks to the wonderful Iain Rennie nurses who've made all the difference, or whatever. Yes, they have, but you also know that the district nurses were beavering away there as well. That it was a joint thing. And we're actually a hidden service. How you manage to be hidden in a big blue uniform, I don't know, but there you go.
First I expected a uniform, and there wasn't. There was a very pretty flouncy skirt and a suit, and I remember being surprised and pleased that she wasn't wearing a uniform.
I can't let my friends know just how awful certain bits of it have been, because any one of them might eventually have to go through the same thing. And I don't want to impose horrible ideas on people, but people who are, if you like, there for that purpose, they're not going to take it personally. They're trained to give the caring, but not to get too personally involved as close friends would.
There are patients who really don't want to see anybody from a hospice, thank you very much. They have this idea that a hospice is to do with God and religion and you're going to be ministered unto, and they don't want that. Hospice means dying in many people's estimation, and that just isn't so. But district nurses are accepted, and it may well be that we nurse a patient all the way through to the end without involving any hospice person. So we have that expertise, but it's great to be able to ask them what they think.
Oh, I don't know. I've heard somebody described as the angel of death, which is not very nice. I sometimes think that they imagine that we're going to take away all their problems, all their symptoms, instantly be able to resolve everything.
I don't like the on-call overnight. I mean, particularly if you feel that there are a lot of sick patients out there and you're likely to get called and you just don't really sleep very well. But it's the anticipation which is always worse than the actual, you know, when you arrive in a patient's home, even if you've not met them before and it's the middle of the night, you know, you quickly sort of establish some sort of relationship, and then it all sort of starts to fall into place.
They are a team. Their communication between each other is superb, and very important, obviously.
Working with the Iain Rennie nurses is an absolute delight, because what they're very good at is anticipating need, and so emergencies that do happen out of hours, and by that I mean outside my working hours or normal working hours, are well provided for.
I think expertise in the field of palliative care comes into it, because as some of my partners have said, we've learnt as much off them as they do from us, if not more.
As a pharmacist, my expertise, such as it is being stretched in lots of directions that aren't just to do with terminal illnesses, but certainly the Iain Rennie nurses do look after a lot of patients with motor neurone disease, sometimes with end-stage respiratory disease and other things, and I welcome the opportunity. I learn all the time from it, and we share our experiences.
Yes, I mean, I'd always like to stay in touch if Iain Rennie can spare me the time. I'd also like to, in the fullness of time, do more to help Iain Rennie, and I feel that if I ever had a problem, I wouldn't hesitate to get in touch to ask for some assistance, even if a number of years had gone by.
We get fantastic support. There's 8 of us on our team. The management are very supportive, and all my team are very supportive. We're very, very lucky in that respect.
So I think we're always developing, we're always playing catch up in a way with what needs to happen, and we're getting bigger all the time. So I think there are possibly issues about size of the organisation. But I think from the nurses' point of view, we're quite well structured, both team leaders down, management-wise, and in the way of support, I would say. And we do audit it from time to time, so we do get feedback from the nurses.
The care that I received was perfect.
But there is something special about the Iain Rennie nurses.
They have time to nurse.
Teamwork, professional, dignity, and love.
And a member of a very supportive family.
And of course, being at home. What a wonderful thing. Surrounded by the garden, her paintings in the very